type strategies you can use. Rent to rent is one. So rent to rent is where you could have a look on Rightmove, see a property, might be up for say 400 quid. You go and approach the landlord, agree say 300 quid. So you'll say, I'll give you a bit of a reduced rent, but I'll guarantee it for say 5 years or something like that. And what you do is you would take ownership of that property with a contract, and then if you go split the rooms in that, you could put 3 or 4 tenants paying 250 quid a month, which means now if you had 4 people paying 250 quid a month, you've got a building producing 1,000 quid a month, and you're paying the landlord 300, and that's your margin. And even if you've got a little bit of repairs work out of that, you could comfortably make 500 quid out of a single property. So 500 quid a month out of just one property, if you had just 10 of them, that'd be 5 grand a month. 5 grand a month, and you don't need any money at all. All you're doing is renting a property off somebody else, and you're now renting it on to a third party. Lease option agreements is another. So lease option agreements is a step further than rent to rent, where you take ownership of the property. You can do similar sort of things, so you can rent it on to a third party. But what you can also do is in that contract you have the option to buy that property at a certain date. So why this works really well is, let's say right now with COVID we have a bit of a drop in the market, and let's say there was like a 10% or 20% drop in the market. So a 100 grand house drops to say 80 grand. Well, you could say to the owner of a house who maybe needs to sell it for 100 because that's what they bought it for, and they need the money out, for whatever reason that is, you could say to them, well, I'll give you the full 100 you're asking for, but I'll give you that in 10 years' time. So I'll take it off you on a lease option agreement for a fixed amount. You've got the right to rent it on, and you can also buy it in 10 years' time. Now, to secure a deal on a lease option agreement, you only need to put down £1. And if you're on here right now and you haven't got £1, then I personally don't fucking believe that, because everyone has at least a fucking pound they can get their hands on. And you can secure a lease option agreement with £1. That's all you need, £1. And you don't have to buy the property. So if you agreed a set price for in 10 years' time, if that property's gone up from 100 to 150, the seller has to sell you that property because it's in the contract. So it's legally binding. They can't change their mind, and you can basically go and agree a price, and you've got the option to buy at a later date. So there's 2 different ways. Deal sourcing. So if you know how to find deals below market value, you can sell them on to other people. So you can go to other people and you can sell those on. I've got some laughing faces in the coming up. It's probably one of my anti-fan club. They love following me about, so there's probably some creature on here who's following me about. And what they don't realise, I'm going to let you into a little secret actually from my anti-fan club. When they go on my YouTube channel and they dislike my videos, YouTube actually rates your videos higher when somebody's disliked them. So if they've got a balance of like and dislike, YouTube actually rates your videos higher. So for those who follow me around and dislike my posts, you do me a favour, so thanks, stay online please. So deal sourcing, if you understand how to buy below market value, you can take hold of an asset and you can sell it on to a third party, because if you bought a property that was say worth 100 grand and you agreed it for 70, you can pass that deal on to somebody. So you could say, look, I've got this property, it's worth 100, There's evidence of all the other ones that I've sold on the street. I'll sell it to you for the 70 grand that I've agreed, but I want a £3,000 sourcing fee for giving you that property. Now people might say, well, if the deal's that good, why would you pass it up? I always pass deals on, because if I'm already doing my own projects and somebody offers me a property and I haven't got the time or energy to do that, then I'll just pass it on and make a couple of grand easy money for just passing it on to somebody else. So that's another way. Another way we know money is, I've mentioned joint venture finance, so bring somebody else in. You can also use mortgage hosts, so somebody else to go on the mortgage for you. If you've got CCJs, bad credit history, you can use a mortgage host. And you can also use bridging finance, something which I talk about in my book, and something that I use on a regular basis. So bridging finance to buy an asset, and then I flip it out onto a mortgage. And there's a number of ways with bridging finance. I talked about it on video 2 or 3, where you can use bridging finance and not actually use any money at all. So you can second charge against other assets. So if you haven't seen them, go back and watch the videos and you'll get some tips on how to do that with bridging finance as well. So there's a number of ways you can actually start with no money. What you need to do is you need to be educated, and this is why when people say to me, it comes down to that ROI again, and people say, fucking hell, what, it costs like 1,600 quid to do some training with you, and you've only got to ask yourself one question: will I at least get my money back? And to think you can't make 1,600 quid in property, fucking hell. If you can't make that, then you shouldn't be watching these fucking videos, that's all I'll say.